Am I on?
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Dreddful Cyber Punk-Cast. My name is Andy.
I'm PK.
And we are back to record this episode. Fair bit of warning here. It's been like a month since we've recorded one, which is kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, because this only happened twice so far. This will be the second time where we recorded an episode and I fucking didn't compile it in Audacity and therefore lost it.
You're telling them?
I'm telling. I'm pulling the veil back.
All right.
So
yeah, we messed up.
I messed up more specifically. It's less on you.
I was just taking some of the burden. Okay, fine. Fuck you.
Hey, if I get all the praise for doing all the work and editing shit, you get none of the blame. Wait, I don't know. Anyways,
but I take some of that praise too. I'll take.
You can say praise.
Yeah.
That being said, so that means that PK and I have read these three comics that we're about to look at today, these progs. But today we're here to read, react to, and review the original Judge Dredd Case Files, the progs. This episode of the podcast, the 35th episode, again, we'll be going over progs 101, 102, and 103, which are effectively part 13, 14, and 15 of the Day the Law Died arc. You are pretty close to it. Look for the one that looks like that.
Okay, so that's one issue previous then.
So, PK.
I just saw a funny picture of Judge Cal.
Oh yeah, Judge Cal.
That's the sound I assumed he was making.
Super expressive face, right? I have to bring up. We have to like recap because we haven't been here. We haven't hung out that much.
You're right.
Because of Rona and everything and just
all of various other projects and jobs and
money-making side hustles and I got nothing. I got nothing. I've been sleeping a lot.
I killed a man.
Hey.
No, I beat Cyberpunk.
Well, that's also
Again.
fair. Again.
But I'm done with it for a while. I'm gonna put it away and
I restarted a playthrough. Couldn't do it. Just can't.
Really?
Because the second I get outside and look and like get in a car, empty streets, empty, no people anywhere, and it just for a game that very much relies on immersion, it breaks the immersion and it hurts. It hurts the experience for me.
Well, I had a good time.
I'm glad you had a good time. You're allowed to have a good time and enjoy it.
All right, good.
I do want to bring up one thing. Now, this was a very funny bit that I made that I would like to keep going with. That was the reaction I loved originally that we don't have anymore because it's...
Now I know the bit?
Now you know the bit. But I'm going to say it anyways, all right?
I'll play along as best as I can.
That's what you don't have to... speak true to the moment. This episode of the Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast is brought to you by the letter Z. Z. It's like a sideways N. Z. Similar to a backwards pointy S. Remember, listeners, when you think of xylophones, don't think of the letter Z. And that is our sponsor for today.
I didn't forget that. I forgot that little last shot.
When we record our next, have a new sponsor for us next week. Or next podcast. So we are picking up where we left off. What do you remember where we left off, PK?
Oh, okay. Where we left off, like the issues we already read, or where we left off before those issues?
Before those issues.
They had just flown off the skyway on their street sweeper.
Yep. The giant kind of, what's it called? Roadliner.
Roadliner, not street.
The roadliner had fallen like 8,000 feet through the bottom of the city. Judge Dredd was declared dead.
Yeah, and everyone on the roadliner was said they died.
Yeah, but
because everyone's like, how could they survive that?
Yeah, Kelso, Pepper, Griffin, Giant, and Dredd. Those five survived the crash. They found some muty / half-humy people in the sewers. That is where we're picking up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they had, the half-humy mutant people were chased off by a giant kind of ogreish man.
Yeah, oh god.
Fergee. Wearing the vest covered in buttons and the baseball cap that's cocked to the side.
I super like that guy. He's grown on me.
Well, we're going to talk about that eventually here. So, we're picking back up with Judge Dredd having a contrived reason to fight Fergee in hand-to-hand combat.
Yep, he says, well, I can't, we're no better than them if we use guns.
Yeah, even though he's, like, assaulting them, you could just shoot him. But who knows?
Right.
Starting off here, This prog was released February 24th, 1979. Script is by John Howard Wagner. Artist is Brian Bolland. Letters by Thomas Frames. PK, what do you got? What do we got going on here?
We got 4 identically dressed.
There we go. It's like interesting choice of words.
4 identically dressed, very different men, all dressed as Judge Dredd, doing some kind of tryout, saying the same line.
Yep.
Which is, I'm Judge Dredd and you crumbs are under arrest.
How would you describe these 4 men in order, PK?
The opposite of human body types. There's a short, squat man,
Yep.
a tall, thin man, a dwarf,
Yep.
and a barrel-chested, like upside-down triangle, elderly, gigantically chinned man.
Like an endomorph man.
Yeah.
And they are all... Give me some interesting voices for these.
All right. I'm Judge Dredd. This is the first, the courtly man.
I mean, of course.
I'm Judge Dredd, and you crumbs are under arrest.
And the tall, thin man?
I'm Judge Dredd, and you crumbs are under arrest.
The vertically... Dwarf man, yeah.
The man with dwarfism.
Man with dwarfism.
What's my best Peter Dinklage? Because I like him.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to give him, because the comic's going out of its way to make the dwarf unappealing.
Yeah.
And ugly in a lot of ways. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
Yeah.
It was 1978.
Yeah. We weren't as culturally sensitive at this time.
I'm Judge Dredd, and you crumbs are under arrest.
And then the old, weird chin, barrel-chested gentleman.
I'm Judge Dredd, and you crumbs are under arrest.
An interesting choice for all 4, I would say. Judge Cal, Mega City 1's new chief judge, was holding auditions in the Hall of Justice. And I'm going to have you read for him if you don't mind.
Yeah. Oh, why?
Yeah, because you've been doing the voice this entire time, and I know you were very sensitive to this subject. So go ahead. Go for it.
The midget will have to have the other ones put down, Slocum.
An excellent choice, Chief Judge.
Let me start right at that M word.
Yep, right into it. That's a cripple in a robo chair.
Oh God! Yeah.
What a great line.
If I remember right, that's not the only time I'm going to say that line.
It was so good. We turn the page now, and we have the other actors playing Judge Dredd who are auditioning being taken away
by the Clegg.
Yeah, just taken away to be put down.
Yeah.
And Judge Slocum is there with Cal, and Cal has his arm around the dwarf man's shoulders, and the dwarf is drawn. How would you describe it, PK? Now that we're getting a close up on him.
Stereotypically offensive.
Yes.
He has gigantic, a pointed face.
Yep.
Buck teeth, very rat-like.
Yeah, it's not a good representation.
And it might not be a shot at people with dwarfism. It might just be that this guy is also... You can take that. You can take a person with a disability and make them a villain. And not have the villainy spout from their disability.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to assume is happening here.
That this dwarf is a villain.
The dwarf is a villain, but it's not because he's a dwarf. It's because he's a bad person and a dwarf.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I could see that. So, as Cal's alien mercenaries dragged the unfortunate actors away... I get you to explain it more and then just go right back into it.
Midget, you have been chosen to play the part of Judge Dredd in a TV spectacular I am making. It will show the true story of my fearless struggle to restore law and order to this city.
Another man was brought in. And now we have...
That's right.
We have a naked Judge Quincy still.
Yeah,
or rather...
In his underwear. In his underpants and helmet.
We also have Judge Percy, and we can assume Judge Glass in the background.
Yeah.
But coming into the room, if you want to describe this gentleman for me, please.
Very handsome, square-jawed, squinty-eyed, like Clark Gable-ish.
All-American, tall, angular face, pointed cheekbones.
It's a callback to the old 50 movie stars. I name-dropped Clark Gable, and that's what I'm going to go with.
I totally get that.
He's got the stoic eyes, the square jaw, the
widow's peak,
the
chin,
the prominent chin.
So yeah, and he's wearing some kind of fur coat with a big furry collar.
Yeah,
he's pretty well paid actor. It looks like. And Quincy says, "Conrad Khan, the great VidPix star." Percy replies.
Some say he's the handsomest man in the world. Percy looks weird without his helmet.
Oh, yeah, he does look kind of like a 16-year-old kid, doesn't he?
He's like a little kid, yeah.
Glass in the background. But he retired from showbiz. He wanted to be alone. And now we have Cal draped sideways over his giant throne.
Now, this is a pose we've seen him do before, and it's it does a good job of illustrating what his character's all about.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sitting on my throne, but I don't really care that much about it.
I have power, and it's nothing to me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good show, don't tell.
Yes, I agree. And he has a very expressive face as he looks over at Conrad.
Citizen Khan, it will be your privilege to play the greatest part ever written. The part of me.
You know I don't make pictures anymore, Chief Judge. And now comes one of my favorite
One of
my favorite fucking panels.
I remember this panel in particular.
If you want to paint me a picture with words here, PK, I'd love to know what's going on.
We have Judge Cal now cross the room over to Conrad Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name? Conrad Khan?
Conrad Khan.
Weird.
Conrad Khan.
Conrad Khan? Yeah. He's like looking him up and stroking his pretty face.
Violating his personal space,
like he's trying to tempt him into something. And in the immediate background, which I can only assume was less than a foot behind them, is a Clegg wielding a knife high above them, making the only expression that Clegg is known to make, which is, God, I want to kill and eat everything in this room.
It's like slavering out of its mouth. It's got the unblinking reptile eyes kind of thing.
It's fucking Big the Cat from Sonic Heroes. With his
oh my God,
with his fucking
Froggy!
Yeah, Froggy!
Fucking Game Grumps.
He's fucking unblinking, wide-eyed, I am a crocodile and I am an apex fucking predator.
He's a fucking 20-foot crocodile, man.
With a knife!
With a knife. That's not dangerous enough. And, Cal is, like, there's clearly a very not even veiled threat going on here.
Yeah.
And as Cal says to Conrad,
such a pity. So handsome. So handsome, too. Grampus, don't damage his head when you remove it.
It will leave his shoulders clean, Judge Cal.
This man is now our vice president.
This giant alligator man is effectively the vice president. Yeah.
Don't blame me. I voted for Grampus.
Oh my God. That's a fucking reference. There's a reference to fucking what year is that Simpsons?
Like 1997?
Something like that? Jesus.
Don't blame yeah. I'm so happy you got that, by the way.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's like one of the few Simpsons episodes I've seen.
Treehouse of Horror, 7?
Yeah, Treehouse of Horrors were always my favorite. So now we get like an even closer close-up of Conrad reacting to the threat of this.
Yeah, the first time Conrad's showing any kind of expression is fear, because who fucking wouldn't be afraid
of a 20-foot alligator man who is now even closer behind him.
Wielding a knife!
Yeah.
The knife is so superfluous,
but
it adds so much to the threat.
We don't even need it, man.
Yeah.
And Conrad gives out a, don't kill me, Chief Judge. I'll do it.
As Judge Cal turns around, like that kind of
brooding,
that determined, brooding face, like I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
I knew you'd come around. Spend a few minutes on your knees and won't forget this ever. Whoa.
Yeah.
And won't forget this little tip ever happened. He means begging, right?
Yeah, just groveling, not. Yeah. We're
dirty. Not sucking a dick.
He's not a sexy Tyrannosaurus, okay? It's not. We're not going to sexualize Conrad Khan. He's not a Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, we're not going to sexualize The thought of Judge Cal having a sex drive is kind of a little disturbing to me.
Yeah,
I never really think of him as just like he's so egotistical and self-centered. Like I can't imagine him caring. Like if he was going to have sex with anyone, it would be his own clone.
Yeah, I was going to say like he's so egotistical and so ego-driven that he can't imagine anyone being good enough for him, and is so focused on his career / rulership / power that he's never had a person who's crazy enough to be with him, which is kind of fair enough.
Right.
And now we see Conrad has got his hands over his eyes, crying as he's like at Cal's knees, and Cal has got a fist raised to the air, bent, and he's like talking to the ceiling.
Yeah, just announcing to everyone in the room.
Yep.
Filming will start immediately. When the people see what a great hero I really am, they will worship me for killing that vile traitor, Dredd.
But, unknown to Cal, Dredd and a few loyal judges had survived the crash through City Bottom into the strange underworld beneath Mega City 1. There, on the banks of the polluted Ohio River, known as the Big Smelly, Dredd fights with a frightening denizen of the underworld, Fergee! And we see Fergee just cracking Judge Dredd across the face.
Yeah, this is a great fucking panel.
Blood coming out of his mouth and shit.
It shows like the heavy hit that Judge Dredd just took.
Yeah.
Like he's flying backwards.
Fergie's got flies buzzing around him. There's a rat in the background.
That fucking face Fergee is making.
Oh, he's got like missing a bottom tooth.
Yeah. Those action lines, you can see how far the bat swang.
Yep, like almost a full 180 degrees and caught Dredd.
Yeah.
I think you were doing a voice for Fergee.
I have a Fergee voice. Strike one to Fergee!
And Judge Giant is like playing what's the guy's coach?
The coach, yeah.
Thank you.
From fucking Punch-Out.
Thank you. You went right to it. I didn't even say anything right there. The coach from Punch-Out. He's behind Judge Dredd,
rubbing his shoulders.
Yep, go for it.
Shoot him, JD. Which is the worst advice coach can give in Punch-Out.
Shoot him,
Little Mac. I think you should shoot him.
He's King Hippo.
That's Mr. Sandman, Little Mac. Here's a gun.
Oh my God. No, Giant. If we resort to killing so easily, we're no better than Cal. And now Fergie's got like the winding up animation going on kind of thing.
Yeah, whirling his bat.
Smiling, his crooked smile.
You want more, eh? You come to the right chappy.
Okay, show us what you've got. And now, Judge Dredd, we got a couple of good action panels as Fergee swings and Judge Dredd ducks beneath it and delivers a straight right to his
fucking bread basket, right to his
gut, basically.
Yeah.
Go ahead for Fergee.
I got this.
And you hear Giant from the background.
Sweet moving, JD.
And then we have this awesome panel of Judge Dredd giving just a perfect uppercut to Fergie's like chin, blood spraying out of his mouth, and he goes toppling backwards over into the Ohio River, the Big Smelly, and he falls off the sewer edge.
Yep.
But he immediately comes back out,
smiling widely, like the water is still coming out of his nose and dripping down his face, and he's so happy.
He's very happy about this.
This art is magnificent.
Brian Bolland has always done face as well. And that's why Brian
Bolland could do every character and face. And who's our favorite artist? Who's our other artist?
Ian Gibson.
Ian Gibson did the backgrounds. You'd have the perfect comic book.
So here's the funny thing. Hold on until our next episode.
Okay.
Because we're about to meet a new artist who I would argue might be putting Ian Gibson to shame.
Wow.
And Brian Bolland.
Because these facial expressions...
They're very evocative.
They tell so much, yeah.
They really do. Fergee, however, has got this big smile coming out of his face as the flies begin buzzing around his head.
Somebody get the number of that bus.
And Giant says from the background,
he's still laughing. Holy mackerel, this guy's a monster.
And now Fergee swims up to the edge of the sewer, has his arms up on the ledge, and he's just laughing his butt off.
Yeah, like you're a kid at the pool and just kind of like talking to the hot lifeguard.
Oh my god!
Which I never did because I was,
What was it? Wendy Peppercorn? She knows what she's doing.
Oh, is that the Sandlot?
That's Sandlot.
Oh my god, dude, we are on the same page today. That's 3 out of 3 references.
We're pretty good so far. He's on the edge of the water, and he's giving a laugh. He says to Judge Dredd,
"Nobody ever gave Fergee a bath in Big Smelly before. Make Fergee smell even more. I attract lots of flies.
Fries." And then Fergee extends his hand as though to ask for Judge Dredd to help pull him up.
Yeah. You one tough cookie, old chappy. Fergee like you. Put it there.
To which
he's like a handshake.
And Judge Giant whispers into Dredd's ear,
"Could be a trick.
He's too stupid to play tricks."
And I think that is spot on.
He's too dumb to be.
Fergee is
deceitful. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a deceitful bone in his body. He's violent and big, but he's not a liar.
Yeah. We see now Dredd is helping Fergee up out of the water, and Fergee is saying,
"From now on, we be friends. Fergie's still top dog, mind.
You've certainly got the most fleas."
And it's Fergee just busts a gut laughing.
Yeah.
This panel is so evocative of how much joy he's feeling.
Yeah.
Top dog, most fleas. Fergee like good joke.
I want to point out, as Fergee is getting pulled up out of the water, the camera's kind of over his back.
Oh, he has a cool little utility belt with a bunch of pouches.
Yep, and he's
but
also
more
got...
so than that, he's got a bunch of fucking... His vest
is covered in buttons.
Yeah.
What's the one that jumps out to you immediately, PK?
Oh, the little Jolly Roger with the little skull and crossbone?
Nope, not that one.
The Batman one near the top?
Nope, not that one.
It's the swastika, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one with the swastika.
It's
the giant
swastika
black
one.
swastika. And also in the background, we see Judge Griffin plugging his nose from the smell, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's pretty good, too.
Dredd took a body count. Griffin, Pepper, and Kelso were unhurt, but Judge Schmaltz was mortally wounded. I forgot Judge Schmaltz was still with them.
Judge fucking
And
Schmaltz.
Schmaltz is like laying on his back. Everyone's like over top of him, kind of thing, like fussing over him.
He's dramatically laying down.
Yeah, he looks like a
Like that. What's that portrait of the philosopher? Is like on his deathbed. Diogenes? No.
Diogenes? I love Diogenes. I don't know if that's him or not.
It's not Diogenes the Cynic. It's Plato or Aristotle or something.
But they're like, oh,
yeah,
like reaching out.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's a famous painting of a philosopher.
He reminds me of like the romance novels of where the young like helpless maiden is like draped over something. You know? It very much reminds me
God
of that.
creating Adam and Adam's.
Oh yeah, very much that pose. And everyone's bent over him. Kelso's in the background. And Judge Schmaltz is saying on his deathbed.
Okay, what's my Judge Schmaltz?
Ted, right?
It's Ted, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an rare and wonderful honor to serve with you, Judge Dredd. My chicken.
Oh my God, no. Does not say that.
My son is sitting behind the hills of life, but I am at peace with my destiny.
Farewell, Judge Schmaltz. You will be remembered. And now Judge Schmaltz closes his eyes as we got the cool, awesome, like shadowed face of Judge Griffin.
Everyone's paying their respects. Everyone's got their heads bowed and eyes closed.
Judge Pepper says, "Poor old Schmaltz. He's gone." And Griffin says,
Am I Griffin?
Go for it.
He talked a little too much for my liking. Still, he was a good judge at heart.
And now we have one of the oldest bits in the goddamn book.
It still gets me. It's still so good.
It's so good. He just pops back up.
Judge Schmaltz pops back up. Like everyone has turned
Everyone's
their
already
backs.
walked away.
Everyone's walked away. Like they had to turn around.
Yeah. And he says,
And furthermore, I'd like to say, and they all run back to him.
And he
like
collapses
he closes his eyes shut.
And then Giant is like closing his eyes, saying,
He's gone for sure this time.
Judge Kelso with a cool scar over his eye, the guy who's doing the math in the last episode, in the last prog. Typical of Schmaltz, always wanted to have the last word. So he couldn't even like die without getting the last word in.
Die without.
I think that the
that joke is as old as time, but I
really
loved it.
I think the best I've ever seen it done was in Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love where he's just like, like just waiting to die, like. It's so awkward and fun. Our next page we turn over here, and the capsule of the roadliner is on fire, sinking in the water. All the tutors and judges are lined up along the side of the Big Smelly, and they have their heads bowed, their hands clasped. They place the body in the cab of the roadliner and set it alight. Judge Schmaltz drifted into eternity along the waters of the Big Smelly.
That's the line.
You would think so, right?
Maybe.
I had one that I written down.
Oh my god.
And
along the waters of the Big Smelly.
Along the waters of the Big Smelly.
Wait if I take the piss out of those last two words.
Goodbye, Judge Schmaltz. You'll be at the big QZ in the sky or whatever it is. Griffin, however, is saying to the group,
"Only 5 of us left. What do we do, Judge Dredd?"
"One of the first lessons you ever taught me, Judge Griffin. We find a secure base and start making plans to hit back."
You mean like we've done 3 or 4 times already?
In just this arc alone? Absolutely. It's never failed except all those other times.
They all got knockouts this time, Judge Griffin.
They only had like 3. We killed them all.
Yeah.
So the group starts off walking away. Kelso is still nursing his missing arm. what's his name? Fergee is like leading them with a lamp away from the big smelly.
There's Pepper looking all... Oh, yeah, that's Pepper. No, Pepper is the one with the arm.
Nope, that's Kelso missing the arm.
I thought Pepper had the scar over his eye.
That's Kelso as well. Pepper's the guy who has a missing leg.
Okay, you're right.
Go for it. Go for Fergee.
Fergee got a place to stay. Plenty grub, too. You like cum? Fergee show you.
And as he starts singing as he's walking away with the light.
Here come trouble on the double. Here come Ferg to make you cry.
And Judge Griffin is just looking on as Fergee walks away with the most like look, dissatisfied look on his face. And he says to Judge Dredd,
Can we trust him, Dredd?
We have to. He may be crazy, but right now we need every friend we can get. Next prog, Fergie's Palace. And that ends Prog 101. Day the Law Died, Part 13. The Law and the Loony. So, quick review, because these aren't super long, but we got some stuff to get through.
Right.
Settings and places, we got the Big Smelly. We have...
The Undercity?
We have the Undercity where we're at, but like along the shores of the Big Smelly. We don't know if Cal is auditioning people at the Mega City TV station or if it's at the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
Either way, we've been to both those places before.
Yeah.
Characters, though. We see Judge Quincy, still naked. Hooray. Judge Percy, still wearing a little dress. Hooray. Conrad Khan, however, is a new character.
Yeah.
A famous retired bid pick star who is forcibly brought out of retirement to play Chief Judge Cal in a self-wrote biopic made for television.
Of course, he's like
he chooses the most
handsome man in the world to play him.
Of course. He is considered to be the handsomest man in the world. We don't have any really items or technology of note this particular prog. Terrible slang, made up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. The one I liked was, he's too stupid to play tricks. That's a pretty good line. We haven't had many like big one-liners from Dredd in a while, I feel like. But also,
not really, but we've been on the run for a while too.
This is true. World building. So, right off the bat, we have to discuss that in modern-day society, the term midget is incredibly offensive to people who suffer from dwarfism, and it is clearly a pejorative word. Even the way in which the actor is drawn, with his exaggerated features and large teeth. Thankfully, we have come further as a cultured society since then. One thing, though, we can read more buttons that Fergee is wearing in this prog, which include a 2000 AD button, a Batman button, a Mickey Mouse button, and a swastika, as well as a We Are Not Alone button, a reference to Walter Seeger Sullivan Jr.'s novel by the same name that described the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, a sci-fi reference for the win. And the We Are Not Alone is also, like you mentioned the first time we recorded this, a tagline from
the
X-Files.
Yep.
Because I always attributed X-Files with The Truth Is Out There.
That's the main one. Is We Are Not Alone, and there are 4 or 5 others that are...
Did not know that. I've never watched all the X-Files. Huh? I've never watched much of the X-Files.
I've watched a lot of the X-Files. Not in one sitting, not in one... But like, when it was on TV years and years ago.
Back when TV was still a thing.
Yeah, I should sit down and watch it streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's new seasons I haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah, there are new X-Files seasons.
I did not know that, actually.
And both the movies I've seen both the movies. Both of them in theaters.
I didn't know there was movies.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah. Both of them are really good. I've seen both of them in theaters, despite not being the biggest X-Files fan.
Interesting. That's kind of weird. Going on. Chief Judge Cal is already trying to rewrite history to show him as the savior of Mega City 1. He plays the part of the hero/victim and orders mass executions probably within the same month. At any other point in history, I would ask, does Cal really think that people are stupid enough to forget the atrocities he's committed so recently? But considering the last 4 years of our own politics, it's sadly very easily to imagine that this plan could succeed. In fact, if
I'm not surprised people are
cheering him on.
Yeah.
If it were more realistic, there would be people cheering him on as they were led away to the liquidation vats. But who could imagine America would fall that far in under 100 or 200 years, you know? Yeah, a little too close to home. Right now, though, the resistance against Cal amounts to Judge Dredd, Judge Giant, Tutor Griffin, Kelso, Pepper, and Fergee. And that's it. That's literally it. It's literally like 5 people against all the judges in Mega City 1 and Cal's alien alligator mercenaries, the Clegg. how much like down and out can we get?
It's the end of The Force Awakens.
Oh, is it Force Awakens or Last Jedi? It's Last Jedi.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
Where it's like the resistance is like 30
it's five
people.
guys on a ship.
Yeah. It's very much that how much lower can we go from here, right? So I'm interested to see how they pull this out of their ass. Death count for this issue. Cal orders the other actors auditioning for the part of Judge Dredd, no doubt against their will, to be put down.
Yeah.
Wow. Judge Schmaltz pulls the old I'm going to monologue on my deathbed, die, then come back to monologue some more gag. Damn. That is pretty dark, though, 2000 AD. Pretty funny, but dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark humor.
I appreciate
what you're known
it.
For.
I appreciate it. All in all, there's not a lot of new concepts being introduced in these issues. So we have to make do with what we have. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of world building necessarily done because we've done so much establishing of like Cal's torturous dystopia. Kind of.
Work camps,
yeah.
forced servitude,
yeah.
concrete walls.
We're going to get to that actually later. So, is there anything else you want to talk about for Prog 101, The Law and the Loony, PK?
Nope, we're still the Ohio River. I'm good.
All right. We're moving on then to Fergie's Palace. Prog 102, The Day the Law Died, Part 14. This prog was released March 3rd, 1979. The script is by John Howard, Wagner. Artist Brian Bolland, and letters by Tom Frame. So, we pick up right where we left off, and we have some narration here I'll read. Fleeing the tyrant Cal, Judge Dredd and a few loyal followers survive a crash through City Bottom into the strange underworld beneath Megacity 1. There they meet the amiable brute Fergee, who offers to give them shelter. PK, if you wanted to paint me a picture with words, what do we got here?
I just before I do that, I like to point out how spot on amiable brute is.
Amiable brute
description for Fergee.
It really is.
He's a giant, violent, loving child.
Yeah.
What we have here is Fergee leading them through the Undercity, the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the last recording where I talked at length about Necromundo, wasn't it? The one that
you mentioned Necromundo, and I don't remember much what you said. What did you say about it?
I was talking about the idea of the Undercity being reminding me of the Necromunda tabletop RPG, which was done by Games Workshop, which was takes place on one hive city, Necromunda.
That was it. Yes.
Where it's very much a gigantic pyramid-like structure.
Yep.
The very top where the elites live.
Yep.
The middle there's the middle class people. At the very bottom they're the very poor, working in a factory for 20 hours a day. And the Undercity is where the mutants and chaos demons live.
Oh my god.
And,
it's always interesting that we always have like even in like Game of Thrones or other fantasy settings or have you, the elite always live higher up, even in real world, right?
Yeah, even in fucking Cyberpunk.
It'd be interesting to see what would a world look like where the elite, the closer to the ground you live, the more elite or money you have.
I've thought about that at length, and because I like to take concepts and turn them on their head.
Yeah.
I thought, why would they live in the ground? Maybe because it's hotter down there, and the climate is gone frozen.
Oh, that's an
and
interesting
you live underground
idea.
where it's warmer. So
that's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought about that. But Fergee is leading with his lamp through the sewers. What's the thing that jumps out at you, PK, in this?
These terrifying denizens of the Undercity.
Yeah,
they look like bloodborne monsters with their milky. They're like golems.
They look like frog fish golem people that are really like thick necks that go directly into their heads.
Yeah, they have like long nails and milky eyes and
pointed fangs and no nose.
Yeah, like Voldemort noses.
Yeah, they're very creepy looking. These are
very reptilian.
These are also specifically do not look like the people we first met along the banks.
No, they don't look like the other ones we had met.
These are much more mutated people.
Yeah,
and
none of them look like Fergee.
None of them look like Fergee. And they're all pointing and like, like making noises at Fergee.
Run!
And Fergee is singing as he walks down.
Just not even paying them any mind.
Yep.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face.
And then he ceremoniously or unceremoniously begins picking his nose, swatting at flies.
Not just picking his nose, not like a casual. He has it up there to the first knuckle.
Yeah, he's really digging in there.
Yeah, he goes, dang flies.
And now we see that Pepper and Judge Dredd and the rest are kind of following behind. Fergee scratching his back.
Yeah, not far now, pals. Plenty of grub waiting at Fergie's. Dang bugs! As he scratches his back.
And Judge Giant is like looking over his shoulder at the haunting alien fish people that are like looking from the shadows.
Yeah.
And
that lady just looking at him. She's like, I'm gonna get me a man. Giant's like, not me.
Giant's like, fuck this place.
Also, I'd like to point out, like, this guy in the first panel, he's got some stories to tell. I like that guy.
Oh, yeah, the guy who got the one squinty eye.
Yeah, the one squinty eye. That guy's seen something.
Shit. Yeah, he's seen some shit. Anyways, go for Giant.
This place sure gives me the creeps. I'm not going to date that lady.
And Griffin says out of the corner of his mouth, it is the old city, the Ohio River, the big smelly. Got so polluted they just concreted it over and built a new city on top. And Dredd is like sneering from the front. Now it's inhabited only by the rats and the strange half-men, fugitives from the city above. Up ahead, we see that Fergee is entering a place called Al's Body Shop with the O missing.
Yep.
And there are like more fish people kind of like running out of the way.
Yeah, they were like in there and they're running out.
Yeah. And he's waving away with his bat.
Yeah. Shoo! You make appointment to see Fergee.
And now we go to the inside of Fergie's home. PK, pay me a picture of words here.
Okay, so we have piles and piles of junk.
Yup.
Just there's a toilet on a crate. There's some barrels around a campfire and a spit. Mm-hmm. There's like some little like cartoon turkeys.
Yeah, but they're like definitely quadrupeds.
They're very and they're very small.
Yes.
And there's just like there's a cleared area in the middle, but just piles and piles. Oh, and some rats.
Yep, lots of rats
climbing the walls.
Chains hanging from everywhere.
It's a body shop. It's a garage.
There is.
And there's a sign.
There's a sign.
The sign gets me every time.
The sign is very good.
Home, sweat, home.
Instead of home, sweet home, sweat.
Yeah, with some little flowers painted on it.
There's also a toilet on top of some boxes.
Yeah, there's a toilet on the crate.
Yep. And there was a crown hanging off of a hook near it.
Crown. That's what that is.
So Fergie's got his arms spread wide, gesturing to everyone as they enter. Go ahead.
This Fergie's place. Pretty neat, huh? Regular home from home.
A disgusting hole, but at least it's secure from Cal's men.
Regular home from home?
I think it's
home away from home.
I
but
think
it's his home.
I don't know. Is it a typo or is it just Fergie? Like, we don't know.
Maybe he's like saying to you guys it'd be like your home away from home.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Who knows?
Also, I'd like to point out his crown is more of a top half of a can.
Yeah,
that's jagged metal points.
Yep, that's very true. Honestly, yeah, that's very true. It looks like a top hat, the ring of a can that's been put up and has like the broken metal around it.
Yeah.
Fergie, however, is pointing up and he's giving us some backstory here. Go for it, PK.
Fergie lived upside in big city once, but then Fergie do bad things. One, maybe two bad things. Okay. It's like this face he makes, like he's like coming clean. Okay. Lots of bad things. Fergie liked doing bad things. Fergie pretty heavy guy.
And now he gestures with one hand on his chest, one to the throne.
Yeah.
His porcelain throne, rather.
Down here, everyone afraid of Fergie. All run when I come. Scream, scream. Plenty panic. That good. Down here, Fergie is king. See? I even built throne!
And he now sits on his throne.
With his crown.
With his crown over his head, pointing up, like gesturing, super happy.
Yeah. King Fergie! King of the big smelly!
And now he gestures over, he like tosses his crown off, puts his baseball cap back on. He gestures to the two small animals which are on a spit roast over the fire.
But where are Fergie's manners, eh? You hungry? Eat, eat! Plenty good grub! Fresh roast!
And Kelso is like smiling in the background. I'm famished. I haven't eaten in days. And now it cuts to like the around the fire scene.
Everyone's like, the campfire. Like in Blazing Saddles when they're all farting.
Oh my god, I forgot about that scene. Oh my god. There's so many scenes in that movie that are just, I mean, it's Mel Brooks, right? But like,
we need a shit ton of quarters.
Someone's gotta go back and get a shit ton of dimes. So fucking funny.
I want ass kickers, shit kickers, and Methodists.
And Methodists. I think that movie has, in my opinion, the best fourth wall break of any fourth wall break in any movie, where they're fighting and the fight spills over into other studios.
And
eventually
they're fighting through different movies.
And eventually the bad guy leaves the movie studio set and goes to watch the movie he's in a theater.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? I love it. I love it. That's breaking all the walls.
Yeah.
But the group is like sitting around and
they're munching on the food.
Yep. And Fergie's like gesturing like happily, and Griffin's got a grin in the background.
Yeah, this is pretty good down here.
Kelso is saying, delicious meat. Is it rabbit?
And
Pepper.
Nonsense, Kelso. Any fool knows that this is squirrel.
And Fergie in the background is laughing though.
Rabbit, squirrel, that good one.
And now we see Fergie just takes a sling with a rock and fucking whirls it and lets it go and kills a rat.
Yeah, one-shots it.
Yeah. That kind of tells us what we got going on here.
Yeah.
And he offers the rat to the group by the tail.
This only food down here, and no shortage of it neither.
Kelso is like got the and then Pepper is like got his tongue out of his mouth. Fucking Griffin.
Griffin's like,
Griffin's just got like this kind of like, I ate rat.
Griffin's expression here is like, oh, that's rat.
He's like,
because Griffin's a fucking hard ass.
I like Griffin a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, when we first saw him, we were just like it was between him and Goodman. What was it like? Eugene Goodman or whatever his name was. Yeah. The Chief Justice who looked like Grand Moff Tarkin.
And his fucking pointy face.
Those two looked badass, and now Goodman's gone. Yeah. So we're left with Griffin being one of those
Goodman
badass.
was gone, they changed the entire design, but...
That is true.
But,
Kelso's like going to throw up. Rat!
I cannot get over how much I love Griffin's face here.
Griffin's just like
mildly interested.
Oh. He looks like more disappointed than anything else.
Oh, it's a rat. Guess it wasn't squirrel after all. And just like,
He's just very upset, it looks like to me.
It's like the bit from Futurama who they see what Slurm came.
Oh my god, fucking drinks more. Pepper is like got the tongue out of his mouth as he says.
Yeah. Pepper.
Pepper's saying it.
I've suddenly lost my appetite.
Now Fergie's in the background. He's like messing with some nets and like hanging on beams and stuff.
Yeah.
Discussion turned to ways of fighting back against Tyrant Cal. And Griffin is saying to the group, go for Griffin if you'd like.
Let's face it, 5 of us don't stand a chance against the whole Mega City judge force.
To which Judge Dredd replies, that's something that's always puzzled me. Those judges were good men. They loved the law, and yet they obey that madman Cal like they were hypnotized.
Wait a minute! Hypnotized?!
To which Judge Giant like gives a, hey, I got an idea. And go ahead, Giant.
And here we come to this part again.
Yup.
Hey, baby, maybe that's it. Maybe they were hypnotized.
Here we go.
Listen, as head of the SJS, it was Cal's job to prepare the programs for the daily crime briefing, right?
And we turn the page, and there's Cal.
I forgot this panel was so fucking
got,
spot on.
It's a flashback, like over the shoulder of Cal with his long wavy hair back before
his haircut. Yeah.
And there's just rows and rows of judges with fucking headphones on.
They look like they're at the fucking old Borders. We used to go like take the CDs, scan it, and you can like listen to a track off it or something.
Holy shit, that's a reference. I haven't thought of Borders in a while. But and Cal is at like a podium overlooking all these rows of judges,
control panel,
which we've never seen before.
Which we've never seen or heard of this before.
Yeah, never mentioned.
As viewers, we would know immediately what had happened.
It's like, hey,
how do you know those guys on his side? What about he used the hypnotism machine? It's like they've been hypnotized. The hypnotism machine!
That should have been it! Judges were required to attend daily briefings where details of all Mega City crime were fed directly into their brains. And Giant continues like a little pop-out head.
What if Cal fixed it so that the computers are automatically fed in a hypnotic suggestion? You'll obey Cal. That kind of junk.
And now the group considers this as a possibility. Go for Griffin.
It fits!
You're a genius!
My God, Judge Giant!
You solved it!
You should be head justice. None of my tutors attended daily briefings, and you were in the cursed earth, Judge Dredd.
So that kind of fits. Tutors don't go out on patrol. They're
Right.
teaching at the academy. And Dredd was in the cursed earth before all this.
Yeah.
And Giant replies also,
I've been on a month's leave, so I didn't get affected either. So what do we do about it?
yeah. Yeah, they're just now putting this together.
Wait a minute, the hypnotism machine.
Oh my God.
I remember that day from when I remember that my days in the judge.
That's so ridiculous. Fergee now is like trying to get a net down while in the background the group are discussing this.
Yeah.
And I think that it is Judge Dredd saying this.
Yeah.
Easy. We break into Justice HQ and use Cal's own tapes against him. And we do it with the help of our new friend. To it, Kelso replies, Fergee? And Fergie's going for his net with the flies.
Yeah. Dang, flies! Fergee catch you this time!
And he pulls a rope and then the
net
giant...
falls on him.
It's, of course, a giant fisherman's net.
Yeah.
That is like 3 or 4 inches between each, like, loop of knot. So it does nothing except fall on his head.
Yeah. Trapping him, and the bugs are still free to attack him.
Of course. And he looks up at the flies and says,
Gotcha! Dang! They're getting through the net! Dang, flies! Too smart for Fergee!
as to almost to emphasize the point that this is the guy who's going to be helping us.
This is our backup.
And they're all the judges and tutors are looking at him as this is happening.
As he's struggling in a net, slapping the bugs.
And Kelso has, how would you describe Kelso's face here as he's like looking at the group like
resigned to all these men and me are going to die.
Kelso's very like, we're fucked. Like,
he's like, look at this. He's like, I'm just like the C-3PO and fucking what's the last Star Wars movie? Rise of Skywalker was like taking one last look at my friend.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's it. Griffin, however, is not amused by this suggestion and says,
"That half-wit, what use is he?
He knows the way out, for one thing, and he's the only one of us who won't be recognized instantly."
He'll be recognized instantly because he's a fucking 8 feet tall.
I mean, won't be recognized. I didn't say he wouldn't stand out.
You're right. Yeah, that's
he'll
true.
stand out like a sore thumb, but no one will know him. They won't know who he is. So soon we have Judge Dredd following Fergee up a staircase. We assume to a higher level in the sewers.
Yeah, they're doing the climbing, the fucking Final Fantasy 7 thing where you climb.
All the goddamn staircase.
I was thinking like we were climbing up to the up to the top plate. I love that part.
Oh, fair.
They don't play the music in the remake, but in the original game they had this fucking fucking boss star track. I'll have to play it for you because I fucking love that track and it's missing in the remake. But...
Oh, it's a shame. But Kelso and Pepper and them are down below talking up to Judge Dredd. Griffin is saying to him,
"Let us come with you, Judge Dredd."
"No, Griffin, if something happens, you must be free to carry on the fight." So it's just the two of them going in alone.
"We won't know the way out, Judge Dredd."
Come up this way after me, you know.
Try up.
Fergee is leading Judge Dredd along the side of the vaulted, arched sewer channel.
It's the classic, going through the sewers and there's like
the water in the
middle and then there's the paths on either side.
Yeah. And he's still singing again.
"Gray skies are gonna clear up."
"Keep quiet, you fool. We're nearing the surface." And now the sewer system led to the streets above, and they're already on the surface. Fergie's coming out of the manhole. Dredd is already up there.
Yeah.
And Fergie is saying to him, looking around,
"Hey, old chappie, where are all the people gone?"
"Curfew. Things have changed since last time you were up here. Cal's in charge." So, yeah. However, immediately, there we go to the inside of a fucking judge vehicle, and there's a different judge, an SJS judge, yelling
looking
over...
right at them, yelling into like an intercom, a loudspeaker.
Yeah, go for it.
"Stop! In the name of Cal!"
"Patrol wagon, we've been spotted."
That didn't take long at all.
That was really quick, in fact. So Fergee and Dredd start booking it, and Dredd is like trying to drag Fergee as bullets go whizzing by.
Yeah.
Fergee saying,
Fergee don't run. I stay. Get heavy with them.
You won't get heavy with a pat wagon. Move it, King Fergee, or we're gonna get well and truly crowned.
That's the line.
There we go. Next prog, Trapped. So, let's review this one, shall we?
I would just like to point out that Fergee says some weird things, but you understand every weird use of bit of slang he's saying. Like, I don't know if it's UK slang or just weird, but you understand that chappy means chap, friend.
Yeah.
And heavy means violent. Like, you get it immediately, and it's just good writing.
It's interesting you should say that. Put a pin in that for the next prog. Not next prog, but the next episode, okay?
Okay.
Because there's like a line that I don't get that Fergee says, and it's said more than once, and I'm like, what are they trying to convey here?
Because, okay, well, but I guess, but the last two things he's made up, get heavy with them and chappy, I've understood immediately.
Yeah, I get that. I can totally get that. So, this prog, settings and places. We have Al's Body Shop, which is Fergee's palace. He apparently takes appointments, or it's just a joke, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. It could be, yeah.
Yeah. Again, no new characters, no items technology, terrible slang, made up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. I love the home sweat home.
Home sweat home.
We have the pat wagon, or paddy wagon as it was once called.
Patrol
and then,
wagon, yeah.
Well and truly crowned. A great line. Monsters, though. We got these half-humies who are now fish monster people. It is pretty fucking creepy. Dredd describes them as fugitives from above, though. Like fugitives from above. Not like leftovers from whatever, but fugitives. It's interesting.
So they're like people who fled Mega City 1, like Fergee, and devolved or evolved?
Or devolved over time, and that Fergee hasn't been down there very long, maybe?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's it. Other thing for monsters I have to put down, and though they're not really monsters, rabbits and squirrels are apparently still a thing.
Oh, that's right.
Because they assumed it was either rabbit or squirrel, which means it must still be around to be eaten.
Yeah.
But there's no bloodhounds. That's not a thing.
No.
There are some animals that are still missing from the Mega City 1 post-apocalyptic landscape, from what we can tell.
Yeah. It's very much Cyberpunk. It was like, oh, we don't have any birds because there was an animal plague.
Yeah.
And that's why there are no birds, because we didn't want to program them in.
Oh my god. What was that from?
Cyberpunk 2077.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why there are no animals in Night City.
Is that also why children are just adults shrunk down?
No, that's just because it's easier to take a model and shrink it down than to make a new model.
To make a singular new model and just cross-paste it over every child versus just shrinking an adult down?
I love those little adults. They make me laugh every time.
It is very unsettling. Again.
Oh, a child. Wait a minute.
It's like, it breaks immersion a lot for me.
I also love when you see two guys walking by that are the exact same guy.
I love
we got this man to meet his brother.
I love looking at like a child in that game, and it's like an old wizened like punk of some kind, and it's like, dude, you are 2 feet tall. What the hell is happening? Anyway, world building. Fergee sings "Put on a Happy Face" from Bye Bye Birdie. Hey, that's still around.
Gray skies are gonna clear up.
So yeah. Also, I can't believe we have a swastika as one of Fergie's buttons. I just bring that up again, like.
I don't understand it. I guess someone just wanted, because like, where are lots of pins? People have swastika pins, right?
Yeah, that's a thing. Sadly enough, Illinois Nazis.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
I just hate Nazis altogether.
Yeah.
Fergee confesses to living up on the surface of Mega City 1, but then he committed too many bad things and fled to the sewers where he is feared by the half-humies. My question for you, PK, I think I asked this first time we recorded this. Do you think it's like he stole stuff, or was it like a go join the rabbits George kind of crimes, like bad things? Like, was
he always this dumb, or did he get dumber?
I mean more like, did he like fucking
kill hookers?
Something like that, yeah.
I think he did lots of bad things. Look at this man. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's probably like a thug for some gang. Got a little too violent. They made him a scapegoat. And he's like, well, I'm going to go live in the sewers.
That makes sense.
And then he got stupider because of the poison radiation.
I can see that.
Pollution.
Oh, so he was smarter up above.
I'm going to say slightly smarter.
Okay.
Because I don't think... Yeah, I'm going to say smarter.
I could see that. Honestly. Fergee appears to eat mostly rats that are living in the sewers, which, yay, hooray for, disease-free rats, I guess. He's cooking it, at least.
Yeah.
However, the big glaring thing this prog, Judge Giant figures out why all the judges have been obeying Judge Cal's orders despite him being pure evil. And it is, like, the most obvious fucking thing. Every day, the Secret Justice Squad and Cal prepared the crime briefings that were fed directly into the judge's brains. What the fuck? What technology is this? The group figures this must be the cause, because the tutors attend daily briefings and Judge Dredd was in the Cursed Earth until recently, and Giant was on a month's leave. Holy shit, is this like the most obvious fucking solution?
How do you get all those men on his side? Wait a minute. Isn't he in charge of the hypnotism machine? The hypnotism machine? Why didn't I think of that?
You're going to learn more about this machine in the future here, and it's not nearly as hypnotism as you think.
Oh, God.
It's more like...
programming?
It's more like... Today's weather shall be... like, it's just like a recording they listen to. Yeah, it's just...
What?
We're going to get to that, okay? And, of course... For last thing, Judge Dredd wants to rely on Fergee for their plan.
He has a habit of doing this, a pattern of...
The only person that can help is Walter.
Yeah.
The only person that can help is Spike's Harvey Rotten.
I'll give Spike's Harvey Rotten out. He'll save my life. I depend on him to save my life.
Like, why?
It's his favorite thing to do. It makes for a good story. It's a comic book that makes for a good story.
That is very true. It's very story-driven. We don't have a death count for this issue, but do you have anything else you want to bring up for this prog, PK?
I already talked about how, like I said, I think he's weird talking clicks with me.
Yeah, I get that.
I understand everything he's saying when he's saying weird things.
I want to say that these 3 issues we're covering today kind of drag a little bit, because it's mostly dealing with Fergee and Judge Dredd.
And we're doing them twice?
Yeah. and it, I mean, even the first time it kind of dragged, because it just doesn't have a lot happening for the most part that progresses the plot along. So yeah. That being said, are you ready to move on to our last prog of this episode?
I sure am.
Okay. Last prog this episode is going to be Prog 103, The Day the Law Died, Part 15, Trapped. This prog was released March 10th of 1979. Script is by John Howard, Wagner. Artist is Gary Leach, and letters by Tom Frame. This prog picks up right where we left off with a full-page art of Judge Dredd running away from this patrol wagon with Fergee kind of turning around with his giant bat to go like confront it.
Yeah, like he's gonna...
And there are like guns flashing in the background, like a mounted turret on top of this thing.
Yeah, there's a guy sitting on a mounted turret like with a 50 cal.
How would you describe this vehicle, PK?
It's fucking cool. It's got like a fucking plow grill thing on the front.
Yep.
It's very Batmobile-like.
Very Batmobile-like.
It's got yeah.
It's got like the wings in the back kind of thing.
Yeah, the swooped up like
Yeah, it looks very much like a
old. It looks very like the what's his name?
Not Kevin Costner. No.
The first Batman.
Yeah.
Batman and Batman Return. Michael Keaton Batmobile.
Yeah.
With the hot rod, where it's swooped up in the back.
Yep.
And it's fucking long front part. The old Batman animated series Batmobile.
Agree. I love that Batmobile.
It's one of my favorite Batmobiles.
Weirdly enough, my favorite Batmobile is I think it's called the Rumbler. Not the Rumbler.
The Tumbler?
No, the Prowler, I think. That's in Lego Batman. The one that turns into a bat that can like crawl around and that can turn into a car and fly and shit. That was the coolest goddamn Batmobile.
That is cool as hell.
I fucking love that movie. But we pick up right back where we left off. Gunfire, cityscape in the background, them running away. And Fergee says,
"Trouble, old chappie? You want Fergee get heavy with them?"
And
as he like gets ready to hit him with a bat.
And they're like 50 feet behind him, so they're like, Fergie's just gonna get fucking blown away.
He's just fucking winding up like fucking Ness's over A in Smash Bros.
Oh my god, Ness's over A. Wow. The judge in the background is yelling out, "Stop in the name of Cal!" And Dredd is just booking it towards the camera, effectively. Yeah. "You don't get heavy with a pat wagon. Run!" And we see now, like, bullets are, like, ricocheting off the walls and shit. And Fergee is like being dragged into an alley by Dredd.
Yeah. Fergee not like running. Getting heavy more fun.
You get plenty heavy with 2 pounds of lead in you, you half-wit.
That's a good line.
And, yep. And fucking Fergee doubles over, of course.
It's such a good line that Fergee reacts to it.
Yep.
2 pounds of lead. Plenty heavy. Good one, pal.
Say what you will about Fergee, but he always gets the joke.
Yeah.
He always gets the joke.
He laughs at your jokes.
Yeah. And they're pretty dry.
Even at inopportune times.
Yeah, and not a great time right now, Fergee. But then again, Dredd's the one making a joke in this situation.
Yeah.
Dredd says to Fergee, "Don't stop, Crockett, are you out of your mind?" And then we have this great moment.
I forgot this happened.
We have a little pop-out button with Dredd, like, to the camera.
He Jim Halpert at the camera.
Yeah, and he's like,
"Are you out of your mind?
Ask a stupid question." And that's the most, like,
That's
fucking...
the biggest fourth wall break in the comic.
It's well, there was that time where, the people are revolting. What? Tell me about it.
Tell me something I don't know.
Tell me something I don't know. That was a pretty fourth wall breaking one.
Are you out of your mind? That fucking smirk.
He's got like a But now we realize that Dredd and Fergee have run to a dead end, which has the Cal is watching with his big brother face looking out.
Yeah, but we've seen this poster before.
It has been defaced now, with Cal now having vampire teeth, a mustache and beard, glasses, devil horns, and the words "suck eggs" written over it.
So it says Cal sucks eggs. It's just you're standing graffiti you do on a face.
Yeah.
Which because we do when we play D&D online, we had a gigantic portrait of the villain's face, and all we did was
fucking
making her.
I forgot about that because he hasn't been on there in a while.
No, we made our GM very upset.
Yeah, we put him in prison and all that kind of shit.
Put him in prison, give him giant curly mustaches and devil horns and eye patches.
So much fun. Barzillai threw in. Dredd dragged Fergee around another corner, but it's walled off. We're trapped. However, Fergee decides to go charging head first into a concrete wall. No, Fergee!
Don't worry, pal. No wall stop Fergee.
Clonk as he just crashes into that fucking wall.
That looks like a painful fucking hit, too.
And he just has like the stars going around his head as he holds his head.
Yeah, dang wall. Too darn smart for Fergee.
Here they come. We're finished. Unless. So, here we go, PK.
Yeah.
We now see Fergee looking up at Dredd and the barrel of a lawgiver pointing into his face from Dredd.
It's the very cursed your son, but inevitable betrayal.
Yep. Fergee says.
He has the biggest, dopiest face on his face.
Yep.
Hey, pal. What you do? You not shoot your buddy Fergee.
Just keep your mouth shut and play along. Now Dredd is approaching this vehicle, this Pat Wagon, which again looks even more like the Rumbler from Christopher Nolan's Batman in a way, because it's got the exposed tires.
The exposed tires and the fucking the wheel well. There are wheel wells in the top like quarter of it.
Yeah,
but it's got these fucking cool ass
spikes and shit everywhere. Yeah. Dredd is leading Fergee, who has his hands up in the air, and Dredd is calling out to the people on top of the Pat Wagon, "Hold your fire, I'm a judge. I've been chasing this curfew breaker." And he thinks to himself, "Gotta keep my badge hidden. If they knew I was Dredd, they'd blast us to Kingdom Come." And the judge up on top is like helping Dredd getting up there. Yeah. And he says to Dredd,
"It's a judge. It's Judge Simple, isn't it? Or is it Rossi? Whoever you are, nice work. That guy's a brute."
"He's not the only one, friend." "Okay, Fergee, now!" And Dredd just fucking clocks the guy across the face, pistol whips him, basically.
Yeah, just right across the face.
Keep going, I gotta write something down.
And then the other guy, like, there's three guys, there's at least two guys on top of the Pat Wagon.
Yep.
And one guy, like, coming out of the little hatch.
Yep.
And Stretch just, like, opens fire at the guy at the turret, and he says, Fergee, very far in the foreground, is like sitting there scratching his chin, going, "What he mean now? Oh yeah!"
And then we get like a little pop out of Fergee's, like a zoom in on of Fergee's face, like smiling,
as it like happy. It dawns on him. It's like, "He mean Fergee get heavy."
And Dredd, there's a guy coming out of the hatch, a judge coming out of the hatch. Dredd just gives him a fucking boot to the head.
Yeah.
This one's going to fire!
As he like smashes his head against the hatch.
And Fergee did nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
hooray.
Fergee stands around.
And Fergie's got his bat ready now as Dredd is like crouching over a judge, pulling his badge off.
Yeah.
Go ahead for Fergie.
Hey, what the big game, Pally? You hog all the fun.
Sorry, Fergie. Couldn't wait. And now we see Judge Dredd pinning a judge badge to Fergie's vest that says Judge Raymond.
He knew Fergie for what, all of it's an hour maybe?
Yeah.
He made him an honorary judge. He never made Spike Harvey Rotten a judge.
He didn't. No.
That's not fair. Maybe he's like learning from his mistakes, like, I should have done that for Spikes. But I'll do it for Fergie.
It's oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
And Fergie's like standing there like so confused. What? Fergie a judge?
Never mind. For your part in the fight against Cal, I hereby appoint you honorary judge.
And Fergie just like falls down, holding his stomach.
Oh yeah.
Rolling around. That good one! Judge Fergie!
In the captured vehicle, Dredd and Fergie headed across town, and they're driving now in this very Batmobile kind of patrol wagon.
This is a cool panel. Look at all those like speed lines and lights and shit.
It's very good. And Fergie's asking from inside, we assume.
Where us two big tough judges go now, old chappie?
We're going to need help to defeat Cal, and there's only one place we can get it. And now we see they're out of the vehicle, and Judge Dredd's like gesturing over his shoulder at a con-apt entrance to a building.
That's right, I remember.
That's the place over there. Come on. And they are now scaling the outside of a starscraper. And there's like a little old lady.
Very much like the 1960s Batman show.
Very much. And there's a little old lady.
Like she's leaning out her fucking window, shaking her fist at them. It's so good.
And Dredd's thinking to himself, too chancy going in the front. Let's hope this old stone doesn't crumble. And now...
That's weird. The buildings are made of old stone?
Yeah, that's interesting. But maybe it's like maybe he's not very high up.
Oh, and so like as they add on to the building, they get newer and newer?
Maybe.
I'm surprised it wasn't one of the people from the fucking Rat Pack leading out. Batman, what are you doing here?
Oh my god.
That's right. Oh god. Who's in the Rat Pack?
Frank Sinatra. Dean Martin.
That's right, Dean Martin. I have business up here.
I don't remember that shit. What the hell?
They were a lot of the guests.
The Rat Pack were a lot of the guests?
Maybe a few. There are a few. They were multiple guests.
Do you ever hear? Do you remember like the Invisible fight that happened? Do you remember that shit or hear about that or no?
Oh yeah,
they couldn't afford to film it. So
one time it was the Green Hornet and Kato were guests, and later on in the show they were like bigger guests. They had to fight Batman.
Oh,
and
shit.
Robin.
Jesus. Well, we now see Dredd and Fergie are looking through a skylight at none other than Walter the Wobot, who is carrying a tray full of like steaks in front of him. And Dredd says, "There he is."
There he is. The man behind everything.
That would be a twist.
Just pulls out a gun.
Fergie replies,
What? That stinking old robot?
My old robo-servant, Walter. Not much use at the best of times, but we need him now.
Not much use at the best of times.
Again, he's dragging Walter, even when Walter isn't there to hear it.
Yeah,
all the
he's
time.
Just fucking shitting on Walter.
I love
who's
it.
Done so much
to help everyone. We're gonna get into that too. So now, like they're preparing to open up the window, and Fergie is saying,
"Hey, what them ugly buglies in there with them?"
Clegs, Cal's alien mercenaries. They must have been belayed in my old rooms.
Oh yeah, we talk a lot about the meaning of the word belayed.
We're gonna get into that again. But this is an awesome panel. I love this panel. Go for it, PK.
God, it's just Walter standing in the room with Clegs everywhere.
Yeah.
The room itself is in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
They're like on the furniture, feet up on the table.
Mm-hmm.
One got his feet up on a potted plant. There's like destroyed. There's a teddy bear over there, a broken TV.
Yep.
And they'll have their rifles out and they're like holding stakes.
They're like either chomping them whole. There's one that's like sleeping with his arms folded across his stomach,
his
tongue out.
His little tongue out.
Blech.
His little blep.
One has a hand, a giant clawed hand.
Right on Walter's head.
And Walter is
saying...
the
most terrifying expression. Your glub, wa beef brisket. If there's nothing else, Walter will retire.
You go when we say go. First take these filth books and burn.
And now the Clegg are standing and they have a handful of books and Walter is upset. Go for it.
Put them down, you creep! Those are Judge Dredd's law books! They're sacred!
Ha! Come get 'em, robot!
And now they're playing Keep Away with the books and Walter.
Like, it's not one book, it's...
Several.
It's several books and they're large volumes.
Yeah.
And they're holding them in the palm of their hand.
And
tossing them all over the room.
As one says,
Har, too late, you piggy in middle.
Oh, you creeps! You wicked, wicked creeps!
And now we see one of them sticks out a foot to trip Walter over backwards.
Har, have nice trip.
And now they're all...
They're fucking third grade bullies.
They really are. If they were small enough, they'd stand behind him while one of them pushes over. Honestly. And now... they're all like cheering on in the background.
Stupid robot, always mope about dumb Dredd master.
Go for it. We teach you.
We teach you, say, Dredd eat slime, or we rip out circuits.
And one that has like its giant hand with its claw at Walter's chest.
If this were a human, it'd be like
in your neck.
It'd be in your heart. You'd be like poking your exposed heart.
Yeah. And Walter replies with oil coming down his screen.
Never!
Har! Bear 'em! Make 'em suffer!
And they all just start like... It's the... You can see Walter's foot coming up from behind one of them, but it's just like they're all ganged up over top of him.
It's very violent without being gratuitously gory.
And they're very happy to be doing it, you can tell.
Yeah, it's like they went from... weird, threatening villains from Recess
to straight up
like
monsters.
They are killing someone. They're tearing it apart.
And Walter is crying on the ground as circuits fry and smoke comes out of him. He says,
"Whip me to pieces, but Walter will never betray Judge Dredd."
And now we have the really cool lit faces of Dredd and Fergee lit up from the skylight, and like their faces are hidden in shadow halfways.
It's time we took a hand, Fergee.
You betcha, old chappy. Fergee good and ready.
And they go crashing through the skylight into the room as Fergee cries out,
"Let's get heavy!"
And that is going to wrap up Prog 103.
Next Prog, Splat?
Yup. So, 103. Things we get to talk about here. Settings and places. We go back to Judge Dredd's apartment.
Yeah,
we haven't been there in a while.
You're right. We're completely above ground.
Who else lives there?
Maria, Walter the Wobot, and Maria the landlady, cleaning lady.
Where's Maria?
Oh, she's eating. She didn't make enough minestrone, my dude.
To be fair, I think Judge Cal forbade the Clegg from eating humans. But we don't know if she
forbade a Clegg from eating anything. It's 20 feet tall.
Maybe the Clegg don't know we're made of meat.
Oh, God. No one tell them.
Yeah.
Maybe they think we're all fucking robots like Walter.
But then again, they've killed a lot of people. So I don't know. We'll see. Semper, though. We have Walter the Wobot returns! Hooray!
Hooray for Walter!
Characters mentioned, we have Judge Rosie, Semple, and Raymond were in that patrol wagon. Or no, it could have been... Raymond was on the wagon, but he mentions Semple or Rossi working this beat, basically.
Yeah, they must... he's like, are you Judge Semple and Judge Rossi? I know you were on patrol tonight or whatever.
Yeah. Items, technology of note. The Pat Wagon is a fucking Batmobile combined with a tank, and it reminds me very much of the Rumbler from Nolan's Batman. It's very cool looking.
It is pretty cool.
Terrible slang, made-up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. Are you out of your mind? Ask a dumb question. What a fucking zinger, dude. Fergie's line I like is the "Wall too smart for Fergee." Like, flies are too smart. Everything's too smart for Fergee.
He's not all so bright.
And we talked about this last time. The word billet, B-I-L-L-E-T-T-E.
And I talked to Linda about the unforgivable acts. I remember that.
What's that? I forget.
During the Revolutionary War, there were three things that the king imposed that the American colonists deemed to be unforgivable.
Okay.
That was One of them was quartering troops within private residences.
Okay.
And the American citizens, colonists said, no, that's unforgivable. We're not going to... And it was like taxation without representation. And a third one... I don't really remember. It's been a long time.
It's all right.
But it was allowing troops to quarter within your home.
Yeah.
And you have to feed them and take care of them.
Force them, basically, against your will. So belay is a place, usually a civilian's house or non-military facility where soldiers are lodged temporarily. You're right on the money for it. And for monsters, we get a lot more of the Clegg this prog. They're not rhyming, thankfully, or chanting or dancing. And we don't get a lot of world building this particular prog, but someone has been defacing Cal's Big Brother posters, which is cool. It shows there's resistance still. We also have that Judge Dredd promotes Fergee to an honorary judge.
He sure did.
Within like probably less than a day of meeting him.
Yep.
And we know that the Cleggs are actually third grade bullies. It's pretty tongue in cheek, but pretty funny. We don't have a death count this issue. Is there anything else you want to bring up for this episode of the podcast, PK, before we wrap up?
Why do they need Walter so bad? Because they need anyone?
Is
something Walter specifically can do?
That's an interesting idea.
What's
your prediction? What do you think they need Walter for?
He can do something with the hypnotism machine, the daily briefing machine.
Okay.
Then he can undo it somehow.
Okay.
He's a robot, a free robot.
Maybe.
And he's like the only one.
Maybe. Well, if that's all you have, PK, you want to hear about what's coming up next on the pipe?
Oh boy!
All right, here we go. Next time on the Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast, will Walter the Wobot betray Judge Dredd to Chief Judge Cal?
No.
Even when ordered to by Dredd himself. And will the reliable robo-servant be beheaded by Cal or promoted to be the first robo-judge of Mega City 1?
That sounds like something. I will kill you or promote you. I don't know!
And
I'm crazy, I'm unpredictable.
And lastly, what grisly fate awaits Chief Judge Cal's right-hand man, Judge Slocum? Could it be death by vinegar? Find out next time on the Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast. My name is Andy.
I'm PK.
And this has been a very dreadful recording coming to you from the distant present. Good times.